welcome to the Wealthy LaLa Show with myself, Laurie Larson. Today is episode 226-2. How are ya? How are you doing? How was your weekend? Mine was it was very fun. Got to spend some time with the grandkids. God, I tell you, I just appreciate them even more the more my life is just sweeter. Like the more I connect with myself, the more joy I have with myself. It's like the more joy I have with them. And it is just so special. And I love it too because I recognize that it's not because of them I'm feeling joy. I'm feeling joy in my own world. So when I meet that with them, it just expands. And I'm so incredibly grateful for that. So it's interesting. Let's see if I find there was an article that I read, and I just wonder what I did with it. I'll see if I can find it. If I can't, you may not get it. But but speaking of grandkids and that concept, like what I actually wanted to talk about was the presence that they have. So someone had shared an article called, it had to do with, what's your passion? And this fella said that, oh, just a sec. Sorry, guys. I'm not focusing very well here. So this guy had talked about, finding your passion. And he's a guy who's a blogger. And he says, you know, um, it's one of the biggest things that people send him messages about is about finding your passion. Okay, I found it. I had to look for it because it was just too good. Anyways, his name's Mark Manson, Manson, and .net. And so his article is called "Screw Your Finding Your Passion." So remember back when you were a kid. Now, of course, there's going to be swear words in this, so I will try and bleep them out. Remember when you were a kid, when you would just do things, you never thought to yourself, what are the relative merits of learning baseball versus football? You just ran around the playground and played baseball and football. You built sandcastles, you played tag, and you asked silly questions and looked for bugs and dug up grass and pretended you were a sewer monster. Nobody ever told you to do it. You just did it. You were led merely by your curiosity and excitement. And the beautiful thing was, if you hated baseball, you just stopped playing it. There was no guilt involved. There was no arguing or debate. You either liked it or you didn't. And if you loved looking for bugs, you just did that. And there was no second level analysis of, well, is looking for bugs really what I should be doing with my time as a child? Nobody else wants to look for bugs. Does that mean that there's something wrong with me? How will looking for bugs affect my future prospects? There was no BS. If you like something, you just did it. Today, I received approximately the 11,504th email this year from a person telling me that they don't know what to do with their life. And like all of the others, this person asked me if I had any ideas as to what they could do, where they could start, where to find their passion. And of course, I didn't respond. Why? Because I have no beep beep clue. If you don't have any idea what to do with yourself, what makes you think that some jackass with a website would? I'm a writer, not a fortune teller. But more importantly, what I want to say to these people is that's the whole point. Not knowing is the whole beep beep point. Life is all about not knowing. I think I'm going to say what would be a good word to replace that? I don't know. Maybe it won't say it again, but let's see. So life is all about not knowing and then doing something anyways. All of life is like that, all of it. And it's not going to get any easier just because you found out you love your job cleaning septic tanks or you scored a dream gig writing indie movies. The common complaint about these people is that they need to find their passion. I call BS. You've already found your passion. You're just ignoring it. Seriously, you're awake 16 hours a day. What the beep do you do with your time? You're doing something, obviously. You're talking about something. There's some topic or activity or idea that dominates a significant amount of your free time, your conversations, your web browsing, and it dominates them without you consciously pursuing it or looking for it. It's right there in front of you. You're just avoiding it for whatever reason. You're avoiding it. You're telling yourself, oh, well, I love comic books, but that doesn't count. You can't make money with comic books. Beep you. Have you even tried? He's got quite an attitude, this guy. Or he's very intense. He's trying to make a point. The problem is, okay, I'm going to continue. The problem is not a lack of passion for something. The problem is productivity. The problem is perception. The problem is acceptance. The problem is, oh, well, that's just not a realistic option. Or mom and dad would kill me if I tried to do that. Or they say I should be a doctor. Or that's crazy. You can't buy a BMW with the money you're making doing that. The problem isn't passion. It's never passion. It's priorities. And even then, who says you need to make money doing what you love? Okay, on a side note, I thought this was really interesting. Since when does everyone feel entitled to love every beep beep second of their job? Really? What is so wrong with working an okay normal job with some cool people you like than pursuing your passion in your free time on the side? Has the world turned upside down, or is this not suddenly a novel idea to people? Look, here's another slap in the face for you. Every job sucks sometimes. There's no such thing as some passionate activity that you will never get tired of, never get stressed over, never complain about. It doesn't exist. I am living my dream job, and he puts in brackets, which happened by accident, by the way. I never in a million years planned on this happening. Like a kid on a playground, I just went and tried it. And I still hate about 30% of it. Some days more. Again, that's just life. The issue here is once again expectations. If you think you're supposed to be working a 70-hour work weeks and sleeping in your office like Steve Jobs did and loving every second of it, you've been watching too many shitty movies. If you think you're supposed to wake up every day dancing out of your pajamas because you get to go to work, then you've been drinking the Kool-Aid. Life doesn't work like that. It's just unrealistic. There's a thing that most of us need to call balance. I have a friend who for the last 3 years has been trying to build an online business selling whatever. It hasn't been working. And by not working, I mean he's not even launching anything. Despite years of work and saying he's going to do this or that, nothing actually ever gets done. What does get done is when one of his former coworkers comes to him with a design job to create a logo or design some promotional material for an event. Holy shit, he's all over it like flies on fresh cow poo. He does a great job. He stays up till 4 a.m., losing himself working on it and loving every second of it. But then 2 days later, he's back to, man, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. I meet so many people like him. He doesn't need to find his passion. His passion already found him. He's just ignoring it. He refuses to believe it's viable. He is just afraid of giving it an honest to good try. It's like a nerdy kid walking onto a playground saying, well, bugs are really cool, but NFL players make more money, so I should force myself to play football every day. And then coming home and complaining that he doesn't like recess. And that's BS. Everybody likes recess. The problem is that he arbitrarily is choosing to limit himself based on some BS idea he got in his head about success and what he's supposed to do. Another email I get all the time is from people wanting to advice on how to become a writer. And my answer's still the same. I have no beeping idea. As a kid, I would write short stories in my room for fun. As a teenager, I would write music reviews and essays about bands I loved, and then show them to nobody. Once the internet came around, I spent hours upon hours on forums writing multiple page posts about inane topics, everything from guitar pickups to the causes of the Iraq War. I never considered writing as a potential career. I never even considered it a hobby or a passion. To me, the things I wrote about were my passion: music, politics, philosophy. Writing was just something I did because I felt like it. When I had to go looking for a career, I could fall in love with it. I didn't have to look far. In fact, I didn't have to look at all. It chose me. It was already there, already something I was doing every day since I was a kid, even without thinking about it. Because here's another point that might make a few people salty. If you have to look for what you're passionate about, then you're probably not passionate about it at all. If you're passionate about something, it will already feel like such an ingrained part of your life that you will have to be reminded by people that it's not normal, that other people aren't like that. And that's so true. Oh my God. So often the thing we're so gifted with, we can't see it because it's so natural for us. So he further says, it didn't occur to me that writing 2,000 word posts on forums was something that nobody else considered fun. It never occurred to my friend that designing a logo is something that most people don't find easy or fun. To him, it's so natural, he can't even imagine it being otherwise. And that's why it's probably what he should really be doing. A child does not walk into a playground and say to herself, how do I find fun? She just goes and has fun. And if you have to look for what you enjoy in life, then you're not enjoying anything. The real truth is you're already enjoying something. You already enjoy many things. You're just choosing to ignore them. We all think we know ourselves well, but psychological studies show otherwise. In fact, most of us are deluded about ourselves. So he talks about how he has a 22-page ebook explaining how we can come to know ourselves better. Just fill out your email in the form. Now, what I'll do is I will actually put a link in the podcast on Podbean that you can access then if you want to read the article again for yourself, and or sign up for his free PDF. So I only started reading the PDF. I didn't finish the whole thing. But like if you think about it, like that's where I've really watched my grandkids, and I watch that they just play. Like our oldest grandson loves to play with cars, wheels, trucks, anything that moves, any machinery, stuff like that. The second one, well, he's only what, 15, 16 months or something. But already he loves to pick up things and gather them and carry them around the house. And he smiles and then puts them down and then picks up other things. That was something our older grandson didn't do. Our granddaughter, who's only 6 months old, um, actually today, 6 months old today, um, she already voices her thoughts more. She does things differently. Like each of us is different. We're all interested in different things. And it's just we're so used to being interested in it that we don't even realize that other people aren't. Well, or we notice that people aren't, and then we make ourselves wrong because we are. I mean, that's something I did with, my ease with speaking about things and being interested in personal growth and mind, body, and health and wellness, and especially the emotional, mental part of health and wellness. And that's just something that I just love. And whether a person monetizes it or not and has a regular job and then monetizes their passion or monetizes their job through money and then just enjoys their passion. I even saw I can't remember the name of the book, but I remember there was a book I'd found earlier this year. And like, what if you're a person who makes your most of your money to survive and get ahead on through your job that you, for the most part, somewhat enjoy, but you got good people you work with and stuff. But then you have crafts and stuff that you sell, beautiful bracelets or earrings or knitting and stuff like that on the side. Like, or your fun is hunting. Like my middle son loves to hunt, and my oldest son loves sports and going to hockey games and football games and concerts and stuff. Like, what if it isn't all about your job being everything that you have to monetize? And Yeah, just look at the possibility. And that's where I'm finding, like, tapping into the energy of the life that you want to create. Like, I'm doing the same thing that I was doing a year ago, yet I'm way more love in my life. And it's exactly the same. But it's because I have more of me. I've tapped into the energies I've wanted. I've been aware of where those energies of wealth or vibrancy or playfulness or inspired has shown up. And then I've asked for more of that. And then with the meditating and clearing the stuff that wasn't working for me out of the way, because like when he says here at the end, we all think we know ourselves well, but psychological studies show otherwise. That is so true. It's so freaking true. You know, and that's not saying everybody, but when you look at the unhappiness around the world, uh, you know, um, we can't lie to ourselves anymore. Most of us aren't happy, and there's ways out of it, and we deserve it. We're worth it. Yeah. So, anyways, you know, as he said, screw finding your passion. Just enjoy every day and see how that works for you. Anyways, I hope you're enjoying these shows. Thank you so much for listening. Again, I'm a grandma who's living life and love sharing this kind of stuff. And if you ever want to reach out to me right now, my email is thewealthylala@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Big hugs to you. Take care.